That's my like new sound. Here guys, welcome to the Wholesome Half Hour. I'm Saren.
I'm Mackenzie.
And this week we thought we'd talk about life after high school.
Oh,
so
God.
You already seem a bit worried there. Do we need to get you some therapy?
Like, it's fine, it's cool. We're working through it. It's a necessary evil.
You do have to leave school. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it. But some of you are probably frothing the idea of leaving school.
I froth the idea of leaving school when okay, so here's the thing. Is life outside of school difficult? Yes. Is it still better than being in high school? Also yes. Like, there is nothing that I personally miss about high school.
Yeah.
Are you worried that this is going to dangle and make weird noises?
Yeah. That's good.
There we go. Yeah, like the challenges that present themselves after high school versus what you face in high school are just like incomparable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so I think because of that, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that I would prefer to be back in high school, but yeah.
Oh, the sun has departed us.
Yeah, it just suddenly got a bunch moodier.
It has. Just
Ambiance.
reflects the mood. But life after high school is interesting, and we put up a poll this week asking you guys how you felt about life after high school. I guess the main routes that most people face are either going to uni or going to somewhere else or going to nowhere.
Traveling, just working, you know.
Many pathways. But it is an inevitable fact of life, and we thought we'd ask you guys about how you're feeling about it, and I guess provide some thoughts that we are highly qualified to give.
I mean, that's the nature of the show anyway, really. Like, we put up a disclaimer at most stages of our episodes. A lot of it is just our opinions on things.
It's mostly, but
yeah, definitely. I mean, we do our best to obviously include stuff in it.
Yeah.
Is educational.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Man, the sun's really going on a roller coaster today.
It doesn't want to be about.
Interesting.
Well, how are you feeling about leaving high school?
I'm trying to cast myself back because now I'm in the stage where I'm about to leave uni. I've only got
so that's a new
6 weeks.
midlife crisis.
Yeah, I've only got 6 weeks and then I'm done with uni. I think it was excitement mixed with a bit of nervousness, which I think is fairly normal.
Yeah, I would say so. I think the thing about leaving high school, which is quite interesting to me, is, well, I remember distinctly when I left high school. Yeah. I didn't go to the last day of school because I didn't want to.
That's a very, very interesting.
Okay.
Interesting way to deal with that situation.
Disclaimer: I don't deal well with highly emotive situations.
Yeah.
Like any situation where there is a high level of emotions going about. Yeah. I don't know how to function in that environment. Right. And I knew that everyone would be people were crying, people were acting as though they would never see each other again. Disclaimer, if you want to see someone again, you can. But you also, in high school, you realize how many friendships are made purely out of convenience rather than actually having a genuine connection with that person. But I don't know, I didn't want to deal with it. So I was like to Mum, hey, everyone's going to be crying, it's going to be weird, can I not go? And she was like, seems fair.
Interesting decision.
Avoidance. Wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, I went. There's actually a video of it somewhere.
But were there an absurd amount of people crying?
I went to a boys' school. Was
there an absurd amount of people crying?
There was no crying. There was no crying. There were emotions. It was. Yeah, that's interesting.
There was. I think the thing is as well with it.
Boys are pretty at an all boys school. I don't know, guys are pretty even if they're not that keen to leave school, they're not gonna act that way.
That's fair. I think with that as well though, for me, I couldn't share everyone's lamenting over the end of high school. Yeah. Because I was just so happy to get out of there. I was halfway through year 12 and I wanted to be done with high school. And I know that there are a lot of people who experience the same thing. And so I just couldn't relate to that. I was like, I don't want to be there on that day because people are going to be crying and hugging and it's going to be weird and I'm not going to respond in the way that they're kind of expecting. And like, it would just be like everyone crying and hugging each other and me like, later losers. Like, oh, I just spat. That was gross.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just didn't go.
An interesting way. I guess so. I'm looking at some of the stuff that becomes here. I guess there's a big theme of no, I'm not feeling ready.
But nobody feels ready, I think.
Yeah, I think you have to understand that. A couple of things. A, you have to leave. Like, it's an inevitable fact. You don't really have a choice no matter. Yeah. But also, like, it's fine to feel nervous about it. Like, it's very normal to feel nervous about doing something, like, literally your entire life that you can remember you've gone to school. So, like, not doing that anymore, that's a very significant change. And it's not weird or unusual for that to bring about, like, uncertain or unusual emotions.
I think leaving high school is the first time in your life where you kind of come to this realization that any decision that you make from here on in is entirely your own. If you want to go to uni, you go to uni. If you want to just work, just work. If you want to go into a trade, find an apprenticeship. Or, going to a polytech or whatever other array of opportunities that there are out there. You kind of realize that, you decide that whatever you do after high school is your decision to be doing.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to tell you and like to do this, that or the other. Not like in high school where, it's like a legal obligation.
Yeah.
And something that your parents decide for you. It's I think it's kind of that first step into like adulting a little bit, because in saying that, you could do what like all of us here at Victoria University of Wellington do and just go and study and then like put it off for another 3 or 4 years, which I think is what uni serves.
It is interesting because I feel like a lot of people who do go to uni end up just deferring a decision they had to make at high school. They could have made at high school into going to a particular career. Yeah. Like at the end of uni, you still have to like.
People do it for something to do.
Yeah, you still have to like you. I was going to say you can't stay here, but actually, if you want to, you kind of can.
Oh, but please don't though. I wouldn't recommend it.
I wouldn't recommend it, but it is feasible.
And on this episode of the Wholesome Half Hour, we give out the worst advice possible.
But yeah, if you want to go on holiday and buy I was going to say like a BMW, but let's be realistic here. If you want to buy
if you're on that serious
2016 Toyota Corolla, you're gonna have to
don't knock it.
You're gonna have to find money somehow at some point, and you're gonna have to like branch your way into some sort of career. It's
also, I think, another interesting element of leaving high school is moving away from a forced structure, which a workplace can serve to do as well, obviously.
Yeah.
But like deciding to go into university or traveling or any of those kind of things, you aren't working to somebody else's schedule.
Yeah.
You are very much working to your own. And I think that is one of the biggest challenges as well, because
I think that's a blessing and a curse.
Yes, it's if you have the if you understand that and you put steps in place to give yourself some structure, because let's be real, we all need some form of structure, but when you don't have, some governing body telling you what to do, you have to tell yourself what to do.
No,
and I struggle with that even now.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Because, I work a couple of jobs. I'm at uni and it's up to me to manage that all out. This week I'm in absolute chaos because I'm I've changed, I usually go to work at the same time, so I've changed some of those around. And it's just absolute chaos that I have to fit in writing a uni assignment around it. I've opened my calendar to look at it, which serves absolutely no purpose at this point in time except making me more stressed.
Oh no.
But it is up to you to, find, I feel like a lot of people end up leaving high school having no structure for a while and then realizing that having no structure doesn't really work and sleeping until 12 o'clock every day doesn't really work.
Excuse me. That's actually, I'm not kidding. For just talking about myself, because apparently that's my favorite subject, is that the university was enough of a structure that I kind of had to follow. But working this year, I very much decide how much time and stuff I put in. And I have very much realized that thing is, you know, you don't have somebody else chasing you up to tell you to do things until a deadline is being
If I don't schedule time this week, like throughout my week, to write my uni assignment, it's still going to be due on Friday.
Exactly.
No one's going to tell me, oh, maybe you should start late.
Yeah, you won't have a teacher reminding you every 2 days of your assignment that's due, or, you know, you won't have... well, some people may still be living with their parents, but like it is a milestone where a lot of people begin to move.
Yeah.
It's the stage that I would say where people really begin to move out of home quite quickly. And moving out of home as well is also another sort of not really, a realization that even your general lifestyle has to have some kind of general structure to it. You know, you would laugh at, you know, your parents for having like a washing day or a laundry day or something like that, or running like clockwork, but you kind of realize that that's how it has to be sometimes for everything to get done.
The washing has to get done, the assignments have to get written, you have to have grocery, you have to have food in the pantry, like these things.
See, I'm comfortable with how that doesn't have to be, but I wouldn't recommend my lifestyle to anyone.
These things like have to happen, and it's up to you to make them happen. I think that's probably one of the most significant changes that people talk about, like going to uni or going overseas or getting a particular job. I don't think people really think that deeply about the day-to-day lifestyle change.
Yeah, and I think that is the thing that trips most people up, because you don't realise just how much it underpins your whole lifestyle. And you need to have that.
Yeah, like with school, you know, you show up 9 to 3. Maybe if you're a good student, if you're a good student, you might like put in like an extra 1 hour or maybe 2 hours after school. So what we've accounted for 8 hours of your day. And essentially you kind of just do as you please for the rest of your time. Like, yeah, you might have sports commitments and music commitments or other activities, but still like, you still have a lot of free time.
The majority of the time that you have is your own.
Yeah, and if you like went to school, clocked your 6 hours, and literally did 1 hour,
clock in, clock out of school, you know,
get that paycheck. You clock it out.
Doing overtime at school today, boys. Art project, you.
You like do your 1 hour on your assignment. Like that's enough for most people to like at least like get achieves and like pass or whatever. But at uni or in a job, if you have a structured job, it's a bit different. But say you're going to uni and you do some sort of part-time work. If you're going to uni and you don't like schedule time outside of your lectures and classes, and you just like treat the rest of your time as free time, it's not going to go very well.
I do that.
Should we look at some of these questions?
Yes.
What is a cover letter? I'm picking this for a particular reason because I remember when I applied.
Something on this,
we have something on this. But I remember when I applied for jobs after I left high school, I knew what a cover letter was and how to write it. I'll explain in a second. But I
didn't realize how important they were.
Exactly. So
most employers care way more about a cover letter than a CV.
Most employers, first thing they'll read is the cover letter. Based on the cover letter, they may not even look at the CV. Most employers will look at the cover letter first and not your CV. So write a good cover letter. Yeah. It matters. I did not realize this.
So I apply, I've obviously applied for heaps of jobs in my life, like everyone has when you've gotten to this point, you know. And almost every... What?
Nothing.
Applying for a lot of jobs. How dare I try to exist in this capitalist society? When I didn't sort of realise or fully understand the importance of a cover letter, the first time I actually put a lot of effort into writing a cover letter was for this job.
Yeah. It makes a big difference. If you just Google study time cover letter, we have an article on how to write a good cover letter. But essentially
and all about the importance of it and what purpose it serves.
It's really important, and I'd encourage you to read that article. It's more. I'd say it's more important than your CV.
Which is interesting because everyone always goes on about a CV.
Exactly.
Cover letters, I think, are more annoying to write.
Definitely. Because if you want to apply for 5 jobs, you can use the same CV, but you have to write different cover letter every time.
I wouldn't say write a completely different
completely different, but like
the way that
it's a lot more effort.
Yeah, I would have like
you can like
bulk
recycle your CV word for word.
Yeah, for sure. A cover letter I had like a basic structure with, and then I would see like in the job description which specific keywords they were using in terms of what they were looking for in a person.
Yeah.
And we trick with that is to, try and cover all of those and explain, like, with experiences, if you can, how you've sort of fit that criteria.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what a cover letter serves to do, is a more specific job application of how you could fit into the role that they are advertising for.
Yeah. Because, like, as an employer, like, there's no, like, it's not easy to, like, if you have 30 people, like, applying for a job and you have 1 hour to sort them out, you can't, like, read every CV, and they're all laid out differently and things are in different places.
Yeah.
They're not super intuitive to read. But with a cover letter, you can kind of very quickly grasp if the person's the kind of person you're looking for or not.
You can also see how much effort the person has actually put into an application as
Exactly.
well. You would be shocked at how many times, like, you can just see something that just hasn't had a lot of effort put into it. I mean, obviously, because I employ people sometimes, which is weird. But yeah, no, it's even just the people who you can see have put thought and effort into their application, you're going to be more inclined to give them more time because they've dedicated that time to putting that application.
If you're not going to dedicate like 20 minutes to, or even 10 minutes to write a like decent cover letter and send it through, why should an employer dedicate half an hour of their time to sit down and interview you?
Exactly. And it's just one of those things, it can be quite time intensive, but it's, at the end of the day, it's for a job, right? So it's a one-time, or not a one-time thing you have to do, but, it's one task that you have to do for a job that you would theoretically have for an extended period of time.
Yeah. Are uni applications open yet?
I'm going to check Kia's timeline.
Maybe.
Back to you.
In 2020, will fees free still be a thing? Yeah, it will be.
I imagine so. Only if you complete your full first year, though. If you get halfway through the year and you decide that you don't really want to be doing that anymore, you do have to pay that back. It's not just free, just send the money.
Yeah, it is kind of free money though.
It's free money if you finish the year also, and you continue studying.
Just
if
a
you
fun
drop
fact.
out, then you have to pay it back as well.
Fun fact, student loans are a thing. Like in New Zealand, I'm not like, I don't know if...
Is that not common knowledge, do you think?
I feel like it is common knowledge, but I feel like people forget. Like student loans, you have an interest-free student loan, StudyLink pays your course fees, and you essentially don't have to worry about it unless you rack up like a really big one, and then, it might take you ages.
Which will happen if you decide to just be a lifelong student.
Yeah. Do they cut you off before, like...
I would hope so.
At some point.
I hope that
you can only do like 7 or 8 equivalent full-time study years or something. You can't get a PhD on a student loan. That's the conclusion.
Yeah,
there.
you have to get outside funding for that kind of thing. Scholarship or uni specifically will pay for it.
Yeah. Here's a good question. Is it normal to have a casual or part-time job at uni?
Yeah, very normal. Not in your first year, but after that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
I have the thing.
Okay.
Thursday the 1st
this
of
is
August,
uni dates.
Hall applications open for basically everywhere. The 27th of September is when Massey and Canterbury close. Oh, wait, are we talking about... Oh, yeah, this is Halls. And then on the 30th of September is Auckland, Waikato and Otago. And then the 1st of October is Vic, Lincoln and AUT.
Yeah. This is Hall application?
Halls, yeah.
Yeah. When do enrollments open?
Enrollments also open on the 1st of October, about the 1st of November. So, if anything, what's the current thing is Hall applications for almost everywhere is open at the moment. It's a study time thing.
On a what?
Oh, I mean, I got it off my Slack with Kia, but it's on the Facebook.
Okay. We have like an infographic thing on our Facebook. Yeah. They can't see that.
Yeah, that doesn't. That's
good.
awful.
Oh, it's because like it will go out of focus as you push towards the camera. See how the hand gets blurrier?
Yeah.
Science.
But we do have a wee timeline infographic type thing. Actually, we probably should just like repost that, I reckon.
Yeah, we can repost that. We'll repost that.
We'll do that for you.
Casual part-time jobs. Yeah, first year less so. Second, third year onwards, yeah, it's pretty common. Though seemingly it varies by uni. I don't know. I know.
Oh yeah, no.
At Auckland Uni,
yeah.
a lot less people.
A lot less people.
And where we are,
Dunners as well.
Yeah,
Dunners.
Yeah, I think that if I was to speculate, the reasons are slightly different. Where we are in Wellington, Vic Uni, I can't think of anyone who doesn't have at least some like small other job.
I do, but they have mummy and daddy's money,
Yeah,
so
it's
fine.
pretty unusual. In Auckland, that situation's a lot more common. In Dunners, people find it hard to find work because...
I think it's that and the courses that are taken and sort of populate those universities. If you're taking med, it is already such an intense course that managing a job on top of that as well is probably going to be a much bigger struggle than if you just did what I did.
Yeah, but yeah, generally speaking, it's pretty reasonable to work. It's generally pretty reasonable to work a casual or part-time job while at uni. Start off, don't take on a massive job straight away, but
you're better off working up to what you can do rather than biting off more than you can chew to get a
starting off with 1 or 2 shifts a week and seeing how that goes, and then moving from there is probably the best approach.
Yeah, I agree.
Because when I started uni, when I started the shop, I was only working 5 hours a week. I just remember that now. Whereas now, I can manage a much larger workload, but it's because I progressively worked up to it. If I just in first year, if I took on 25 hours of work, it would have not. I don't think it would have gone well.
No, I worked in high school, obviously, to save for uni, but part of my reason for saving was so that I didn't have to work in my first year of university. And that was just because I firstly just didn't want to work, and I just wanted a break from working, focus on studying, focusing on adjusting to a university and all that kind of thing. But then there are some people who do. There were quite a few people in my hall who had jobs, and that was relatively normal as well.
Yeah.
But it does depend on circumstance, location, area of study, socioeconomic status.
Yeah. Some people have no choice. For some people, not working is not an option.
Yeah. For many people.
For many people.
I would say for
probably
the majority,
more than half
for the majority of people, not working is not an option. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was going to say something else. I don't know what I was going to say.
Must have been really important.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Do you have any words of wisdom on feeling prepared for going to uni?
Nobody will, but that doesn't make it easier, but it means you're not alone.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, when you go to uni, I'm talking specifically about relationships with people, not platonic as well. People, when they first go to uni and when they're in the halls and things like that, just like every, teenage film that you can think of, people quite frequently try to reinvent themselves or put something more forward, or, they want to change something about themselves to a new group of people, which I totally get, straight up. I wish a lot of people didn't know who I was like in high school. And I think that's but I think that's a really cool thing when you're leaving high school. If there is something that you don't like either about yourself or the relationships that you're having with others, that sounded really mean when I said don't like about yourself. I mean in a constructive way, not a super negative oh my goodness, the English language, people. Ruminating way. But if you decide that you want to try and put more effort into meeting people and being more social, it's a really cool opportunity to try and do things that you don't feel like you were expected to do in high school, because I think sometimes we force ourselves into these molds of what we've kind of the impressions we've given other people over the years. I feel like a lot of words with not a lot of point to it. But in the way that I'm saying now, I mean that everyone is like that. So don't judge a book by its cover, but also give people a couple of weeks to maybe fall back into their old habits before you make too strong relationships with certain people.
Yeah.
I think as the year progresses, particularly if you're in halls, it can turn into a very high school-like environment again, in terms of, I personally wasn't involved in things, but I saw some of the pettiness and crap that happened in halls, and I just thought, well, there were a few different reasons why I didn't. I was in a relationship at the time that mitigated a lot of it, which was good. I'm very certain about that. I'm not a huge drinker anyway, so a lot of the people were like, oh my god, yes, town. And I was like...
That reminds me of that, like TikTok.
I just don't... Am I going to do that? No, that's fine. Fine will never die.
I'm thinking of a different TikTok.
Okay. Well,
Runway is the song. People.
I guess a lot of that kind of thing... A lot of the things that people were excited for in first year didn't excite me.
Yeah.
But I know that that's not a usual case, and so that doesn't serve to give very good advice.
I also didn't party very much in first year. I did a bit, but not like...
I like tea and sleep too much.
Yeah.
But with that as well, I would like to say that because I didn't like going out a lot, what I copped instead was a lot of people ripping me out for not wanting to go out a lot.
Yeah.
And to anyone out there who is going to like rip out their mates because they don't want to get like messed up and waste money with you, maybe just don't do that, because here's my logic. If you're going to force me to go out with you, I'm actually not going to be very fun to be around, because I actually don't want to be there. If somebody doesn't want to be in a place, you shouldn't force them to, because you can't force them into having fun if they are very adamant that they won't have fun.
You're not wrong. I don't disagree.
It bothers me, because I think to myself, why are you trying to force me to go out? Because I'm not going to be fun to be around, because I don't want to be here with you. Not with them specifically, but just in that environment, I guess.
Yeah.
I think just stick to your guns, and also you will definitely change, and that's okay. Like, let that happen. Yeah. But there are still probably core parts about yourself that will be the same as well. Yeah. And that's also very...
You're not going to like... I have definitely seen people...
overnight.
I've definitely seen people like buy into this idea that like by moving out of home and moving into a city, it will like fundamentally like change who they are.
It will... Higher education will broaden your mind, I think, in some ways, because you are still learning, and when you're at university you meet such a diverse range of people that you wouldn't get probably in your hometown unless it's like a city centre as well. But I know for myself in Hawke's Bay, half the people that I would walk down the street in Wellington you would never ever see in Hawke's Bay, ever. And it's to the point now where I go back to Hawke's Bay and I feel really, really weird, because I look like I don't belong in there. Yeah. And my flatmate was there last weekend and she had the exact same thing.
Interesting. Yeah.
Which again depends on where you're from. Yeah. But you'll meet a cool range of people, even if you just decide to move away, to be quite honest with you. Yeah. But there is a lot about you that will stay the same. I think it's more opinions and things that might change.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to like feel like a different person in 6 months' time.
No.
I think that's I think that's very unlikely.
Not just by being in a different environment, at least. It won't It won't just organically happen because you've been put into a new area.
They say you don't need to choose early, but what I choose now matters to what I can do in uni. Not necessarily.
Nah, it doesn't.
You can almost always get around that.
There's bridging courses, my dude.
Yeah.
I think we did an episode on this maybe last year.
Yeah.
Oh my God. About how schools put a lot of emphasis on the decisions you make now will influence what you can do for the absolute rest of your life. It's such bull.
It's like the biggest thought fallacy of all time.
I don't know why they...
The cause and effect model is so...
There is Okay. You can take a bridging course, which is basically a course that you can take for like 6 weeks before you take the paper that you're supposed to take, and that will. Are you all good?
Yeah.
I'm just like keep seeing you on the monitor. Wait, what was I saying?
You can take a bridging course.
You can take a bridging course. If you're over the age of, what is it, 21 or 22?
If you're over, 21 or 22, you don't, what you study in high school doesn't matter.
Exactly. So just age it out.
Yeah.
Cool. Play the wedding game.
You've got options. Like
Default
you're never cut off. There's always like a route to get to where you want to go.
I mean, obviously, if you take subjects in high school which you think will go with what you think you want to do, obviously that's a really good decision to make, but don't think that it is the be-all and end-all, because it absolutely is not. Hey, the sun came back.
Yeah, it's coming out so many times.
Is it changing the lighting in here?
Yeah,
I love that.
So it's gonna be real dark. I'm not gonna redo this. I'm just gonna grade for the brightest point. It'll just be real dark at some points of the episode.
Man.
I have a controversial comment for today. Here's my controversial comment of the day. Not at all. I'm terrified because climate change is gonna kill us. Is climate change bad? Definitely. Is it going to have negative effects on the world? Probably. Will it kill people in New Zealand in our lifetime? Unlikely.
I hate that you are right. Obviously, this means we should 100% be taking action and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
stuff like I'm not saying it doesn't matter.
In all reality, we are a Western country that is. There are other places that are going to get hit first.
Yeah.
In saying that, we should definitely be doing something.
Oh, we should definitely be doing something. We should definitely be doing something. But as a relatively rich country, geographically we're quite well situated. We're not in a very we don't get really extreme weather in New Zealand. You get very moderate weather. The coldest parts of New Zealand get down to the coldest cities in New Zealand max out at -10, and the hottest places max out at 30. You're not going to see you're not going to be
Hawke's Bay summer 35.
Sure. But you're not going to push into that
it's not going to hit 40s like Australia or something like that.
It will get worse, but you're not going to die. I just want to say that.
Yeah. So it's good news, but also really bad news.
Yeah.
Not in the dying thing. The world.
The world, yeah.
I'm going to stop talking for a while. Next question?
Yeah, we can. Pros and cons of taking a gap year.
Oh my God, I wrote an article on this.
Oh.
It's actually called The Pros and Cons of Taking a Gap Year. Check it out.
Find it. What's the 2-second takeaway?
Pros and cons.
That's more than 2 seconds.
Leave. You can't behave yourself. You can't be a part of this.
Okay, bye.
So pros and cons. I think what people see as one of the biggest cons is if you take a gap year, it'll turn into a gap life. And this very much comes into what Sarah and I have been talking about at the beginning of the episode with it's up to you to decide. Ultimately, you have to do what makes you happy. And if you decide that you want to work for a year, travel for a year, whatever it is that may be, and you decide that you're happy working, then I just realised how much this cardigan makes me look like just a square. If you decide that working is what makes you happy, or just earning money to do the things in your life that you want to do, there is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
If you decide that you don't want to go to uni, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, even if it was a plan initially. You shouldn't be forced into doing things because you said it when you were a teenager.
Yeah.
I said a lot of things that I wanted to do when I was a teenager. I can promise you, almost none of them have come to fruition. And that's okay. I'm dealing with it.
Broken dreams with Mackenzie.
That's kind of what this episode is being, no? Damn, sorry team.
But yeah,
Pros and cons. Pros, you can save money. Cons can turn into a gap life. Pros, it's way less stressful and you can have more time to figure out the things that you want to do. Cons, you see a lot of your mates go away and FOMO is definitely a thing.
Yeah. I think working is a pretty reasonable option. I have mixed feelings about going traveling. I reckon traveling's good. Just to put that out
You'd
there.
have to do work first. Like you probably do 6 months work.
Yeah. It depends how you structure it. Remember, while you're at uni, you can still travel as well. Like you don't have to take an entire year off to travel. Like that's not the only way to do that.
I mean, it can be. Yeah,
it's an option.
I think people I think I advocate for gap years for the simple fact that a lot of people don't advocate for them and they tend to talk really negatively about them. And I know I did when I was in high school as well. I mean, I was happy to go straight into university. Taking a gap year wasn't really something that bothered me. But for those who were considering it, there was this kind of air around it, like, oh, if you're going to take a gap year, you're probably never going to go to uni, or something like that. And that's really negative, and I hate that I thought like that. And this is why, when you leave high school, your opinions change and you become a better person. But don't buy into that.
Maybe you become a worse person.
That's also a very high possibility. But I think the biggest thing in deciding what you want to do about taking a gap year or not is firstly just like try to make a decision where you've fully cut out what you think other people's reactions will be. Like cut out the expectations that you feel that others have of you and what you think would either make them happy or disappointed or whatever it is that we have in our head that we think our actions will affect others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, shall we cut ourselves off?
We should cut ourselves off.
Run over. Like we always do. We've already run over, but I thought we'd be like, don't want to overfill the glass too much. Have you seen that meme that's like, with the like it's like
I've seen every meme that go on.
I overflowed the glass before a job interview.
Yeah,
and then
I always put in 110%.
Yeah, great meme.
Told you I've seen every meme.
Great meme. I have questioned that. I can definitely think up some memes.
Except for everything on the Big 4 account page.
Oh, I love that page.
I know
that
you
page
do.
Is so good.
You send me so many memes
Big
from
4
them.
accountant, bro, one in actual Tarnation. That's another favourite of mine.
My favourite pages are just like really random, like important images or cursed images or things that make you go, is a good one. Anything that just makes you slightly, keep it vague is a good one. Just random photos that shouldn't exist. I enjoy those.
Yeah. Big 4 accountant, good time.
I don't know how this episode turned into a meme plug, but cool. So
thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Good luck for the MCAT this week, yes, if you're watching this at the right time.
Good luck to all Year 11s. Either you're sitting it on Tuesday or Thursday this week, so good luck for that. Stay sane, stay safe. Try not to cry too much on the page, it makes it hard to mark.
Yikes.com.
Yikes.com.
See ya.
Bye, guys.